Hi, this is Jenny Williams with Get a Real Estate Life, and so glad that you joined us today for 60 Minutes to Six Figures because, yes, of course, we have a treat as always. I get so many questions about our guest today, so I can't wait to introduce you. We're going to be talking today about how to make real estate really easy because I think we all tend to overcomplicate what we do for a living and put a lot more effort into our work than is necessary. And our guest today is going to show you how to simplify and how to make a great income without having to work around the clock. So first of all, I want to welcome Matt Johnson, as always. Matt.
Hey everybody. So I just wanted to say, for those of you that want to submit comments or questions during the show, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to bring your questions directly to Jenny and our special guest. So I'm going to be monitoring the Get a Real Estate Life Facebook page. If you notice, I just put up a post there with the YouTube link, and so you can comment on that post, or you can put up a post on the page itself. I really don't care. You can message me directly. I am at Pursuing Results on Facebook. You can find me and shoot me a message. However you want to do it, I will keep my eye on Facebook, and you can send in any question, or if you have a comment that you'd like us to mention on the show, we'd love to have that. Just do it through the Get a Real Estate Life Facebook page, or message me directly on Facebook, and we'll bring your questions in live.
Isn't he awesome? Always doing a great job. Couldn't do this without Matt handling everything for me, so thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so today is all about making real estate really easy, and my guest today is someone, of course, that I absolutely adore, and he makes Kimberly and me laugh and smile every day. He is one of our clients, and we're just so happy that we get to work in his world and support him. Jeremy Dobbs, welcome to our online interview.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you know, I get so many questions about what does he do? How does he do that? And every week when we are tallying appointments and tallying listings and closings, and he's like, you know, I probably should be working a lot more than I really do, but, you know, I was able to get my 4 or 5 new client appointments in. And pretty much you do it all working less than 30 hours a week. So I know if you are watching this that you probably are going to think that this is unbelievable, but Jeremy has lived by this since the day that I was lucky enough to meet him at a CE class, and I don't even know that you've extended much more your working hours, even though your income's gone way up. Have you?
No, I have not. There may be a few times a year where it goes up a little bit, but normally no.
Well, share with us a little bit. You know, you're with Keller Williams in Tuscaloosa,
Yes.
Alabama. And how long have you been in the business now?
July 1st, it was 3 years, so 3 years and a few months, couple months, 3 months.
Okay, so 3-year veteran. For a lot of people that I meet that are in their 3rd year, they still kind of feel new. Do you still feel new?
Yes, sometimes.
Well,
There's still times where I run up to get something that I've never seen before.
well, that's the beauty of real estate. Every day is new and fresh and different, and you're going to run up against something new every single week. That's what makes it fun.
Jenny, I think you have a strange definition of fun, but we'll roll it.
Well,
So
for me,
Jeremy, what'd you do? Yeah, Jeremy, what'd you do before you got into real estate?
I was an athletic trainer at Alabama.
Oh, awesome. Very, very cool.
and at the University of Alabama. So
Okay.
for our friends that are watching across the country,
University of Alabama.
we normally just throw out Bama or Alabama, and
That's it just says at the university, and we're all supposed to know what that means. Right? There's only one. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So, and he did work with the girls basketball team there. So, which has been a pretty good referral source for you in real estate.
Yes, I've sold actually 2 or 3 to former players and parents and a few things like that.
And how are you keeping in touch with them? Are you making like a specific
Facebook.
effort? Facebook?
Yeah, I keep up with them all the time on Facebook.
Yeah, very cool.
Well, and we just, as we're getting into like meeting Jeremy and finding out more about him, Matt, that was a great question. We're just now working on sphere of influence and
Seriously?
database marketing. Yes.
Good Lord.
I know it. It's amazing. That is
Lacking in that area, I know it.
well, not for long. We have the plan put together. We're just waiting on our final names. So, okay, how many closings have you had this year? Let's go ahead and, share all the good stuff. 52 closings this year. And, what's funny, in the beginning of this year, in 2016, when we had business planning and we were planning out, what you were going to do this year, you were so sick that day. If you remember, you were on the front row and you had a ton of cough medicine and you were a little bit out of it, but, share with us what you put down as your initial income goal.
If I remember correctly, I think I put 50 down and 200,000.
Yes.
If
Yes.
I remember correctly. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that's what it was.
It was. And I said, oh, no, you're changing it right now.
You and Gusty Goulish challenged me.
When we bumped it up, right, to 250.
Yes, and 60.
And you've already done 52 transactions. You've gone over, and you've already gone over your 250,000 in income. So you've even surpassed this year, the bumped up goal that we made you, pushed you to increase. And so that's what's impressive. And I feel like if you're watching this, it starts that way. Let your goals lift you up, because it was extremely reasonable for me being on the outside and knowing how he works and, seeing that whenever he makes any effort, it is productive. It is on productive things. It is not going to be something that is a waste of time. So I knew that he could do it. He just had to know it himself. And Gusty is an excellent one to make you increase your goals as well, because he's right at 300 this year so far. So, all right, now I let the cat out of the bag a little bit, but share, about how many hours per week you work.
Probably 25 to 30 on average. Some weeks less, some weeks more, but normally around that. And
again, I know a lot of people are going to feel like this is unbelievable that you can make this high of income, because, I meet, Jeremy, a lot of people that are struggling to make that $50,000 in income, and they'll work 60 hours a week, or they feel like they work 60 hours a week. So we really want to get some good meat today, some good shortcuts and systems. And, another thing that I really appreciate about, what you do and how you run your business is the time off that you get, not just during the week, but your vacations. So
yes.
Can you share a little bit about, how often you step away?
Let's see. This year, I think I took a few days off during spring break and spent time with the kids. Right after school was out, we went to Disney World for 8 days. Then June 30th through the 5th, we went back to Disney World because I had a wedding down that way. And then so I came back and worked 2 days. Then I was out from the 8th to the 15th of July for a church camp.
Goodness.
Right.
And then I go to usually a lot of the away football games for Alabama. So first week in Dallas, I left on Friday, came back Sunday. I'm leaving this Thursday, going to Knoxville. I may go to Indiana next week, depending on a few things. Whole week of Thanksgiving, I'll be taking off most of it. After that, I don't know. I know the first week of January, I'll be gone.
Okay.
First of all, that's awesome. And the fact that you don't know, and it's not just the things that you have up in the air are really cool, because you can just if a couple things fall in place, I might take off next weekend. You know, it's
No,
great.
next week it depends on if a baby's born or not.
Oh, okay. That's
Yes.
that's way outside your control.
The man is at Disney World all the time. I'm always teasing him, saying
I make
that
money at Disney World though.
that's true.
That's when I sell houses.
He's always selling houses on the way to a football game or on the way to Disney. So, and part of that is using, smart technology to be able to do that as well. But I knew people would find it unbelievable how much you do take off. And I guess what the main point I want the viewers to understand is that you can do this too. I want Jeremy's story to inspire you so you don't, you can set up boundaries. His clients wait on him. They adore him, and he still makes an excellent income. And so you can do it too. So let's start with, talking about your team. A lot of people say, oh, sure, he gets to take off all that time because he obviously has a really big team.
I'm by myself, actually. I don't even have an administrative assistant or anything.
So he does all the paperwork himself. He does we help him with marketing, but I mean, a lot of the promo stuff you do yourself.
Yes.
So he just, again, focuses on what's productive. So.
And Jeremy, how many pendings are we talking about he having at one time? It's got to be in the range of what, somewhere between 6 and 10 at any given time?
During the heavy part, I had like 13 or 14
Goodness.
at a time. Right now, I've got 7, I think.
Yeah.
6 or 7.
Good Lord, man. And you're doing it all, like no staff?
No staff.
No virtual assistant in the Philippines? No small army of Oompa Loompas in the background? It's just you?
Just
Goodness. That's insane. All right, can we please get into what Jeremy's typical day looks like, because this is insane.
I know, you see, he makes me laugh all the time.
Yes.
And part of it, though, Matt, is this is always his demeanor. He never gets too excited about anything. I call him the anti-salesperson. If you'll take a look at his website, I wrote a lot of the copy for him on his website. And I mean, Jeremy, you are the anti-salesperson. You're going to offer that service, and you're not a promoter of yourself. You just get out and work. So it's totally different from most of our clients that we have. How many new client appointments? Because you know that I'm always hounding that. I'm always preaching that. You got to have the appointment before you can turn that into, convert that into a client, so that you can convert that into closing. And you always stay on track with this. So about how many per week are you having?
I need to do a better job of keeping up with how many. I probably have 3 to 4 a week.
And the difference with you is that you convert all of those to clients, and
Yes.
right, and a majority also of those convert to closing. So, when I'm preaching 6-figure years and having that 4 per week, there's fallout that I put in there, and you don't have a whole lot of fallout.
I have a little bit, but not a lot. Different
Right.
times of the year, it's a little different.
Sure it is, and things are going to happen and
come out, but
not 10 for not 1 out of 10. I take it.
No.
So again, he can focus on fewer appointments and still have that income that's necessary. Also, share a little bit too about Tuscaloosa. What's the average sales price in Tuscaloosa? Because a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, sure, he can close that many because he's selling $1 million properties all day long, right?"
Average sale price is about 170, 175.
Okay, so you did have a couple of sales this year that were higher than average, but
Yes.
for the most part,
2.
yeah. You had 2. So for the most part, you stay right around average.
My average without those 2 is 190.
Okay.
So a
So
little above average.
That
It's like 230, 234.
for my
yeah.
stats people, they want to know that kind of stuff.
Of course. Yeah, well, and Jeremy, are you, so the reason you're, let's say, 15 to 20 grand above average, even without the higher price homes, are you targeting specific neighborhoods that are a little above average, or did you, develop builder relationships or anything like that in certain higher neighborhoods?
No, not really. I do have one neighborhood. The average sale price is about 175, 180. That's my main neighborhood that I do a lot in. But then I do a lot of $300,000 range also.
Gotcha.
So like 8 or 9 this year in the $300,000 range.
Okay. Yeah,
I
so
could
a
look
couple
back
more
numbers.
sales in that range, and it'll pull that average up without much effort.
Yes, but
Okay.
my average sale price is probably on average about 180, and then I have the few higher 300 ones that pull it up.
And Jenny, are you doing anything for Jeremy on the marketing side to go after those 300s, or is that just happenstance because of the connections that he's made?
Both.
Both.
Yes, we do target a neighborhood. We haven't been as consistent as we should be. Because he gets me the photos when he can, and but what's amazing to me is I don't care if it's him doing it on his own from an idea that we all got together, it works, or if it's something we do for him, it works. He is so lucky. Everything works for him. He has and correct me if I'm wrong, 100% conversion rate on expireds that, we haven't done it in a while.
That market is very hard around here because usually they up with the same person right away.
Yeah.
Really before it even goes on the market. So that's really not a big market to hit in Tuscaloosa.
It's funny though, just the few times that we have sent things out, we've got these first aid kits that we use for expired listings, and he'll do all the research and do the background. And the difference is he wants to make sure they go to really good leads, and he'll say, hey, send to these 2 addresses. Okay, we'll send them out for him. He'll say, yeah, I got both of those appointments. Yep, got both of those listings.
Nice.
It's yes.
I'm very selective when I send those out.
Yeah,
you are. But there is also a neighborhood that he targets, and we'll get into that in just a minute. But Matt asked you a little bit ago to kind of give us the detail of what your day looks like.
Well, I don't like to get up early anymore because I had to for years in athletic training. I wake up about 6:30, help get kids ready, take them to school. Then I go run for about 40 minutes or so. Then I come back, shower real quick, start my day. I start going to meet people or seeing how I'm going to get business for a couple hours. Then I go pick my kids up every day from school at 2:30. I take my daughter to dance. Then if I have appointments, it'll be after that or before that. Everything.
Wow.
Then I coach my girls' softball team, my 5-year-old softball team. So I help coach it as well. Right now.
And we have phone calls every morning at 8 a.m. to kind of kick off everyone's day. And you usually catch those. You're on those a good bit.
Yeah, I go run right after it's over with.
Okay. So now I can do a shout out with you and like, okay, Jeremy, go. So if you heard all of that, the appointments are, you spend a little bit of time prospecting, right?
Yes, I time block every day. That I do. Like, I can show you that. My calendar, I keep it on my. This is like what I have. I don't know if you can see that. Whoops.
Oh.
I see everything is. I don't know if it shows up or not.
It does. And that's on your Google Calendar?
Yes, that's on my calendar on my iPad. So I time block everything, know what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it, everything.
Okay, so do you plan your week out in advance?
Try to. There's times where you can't, some things. But the major things I put on there first, like anything, picking up my kids. all that. There is times where I don't pick my kids up if there's something going on, but normally I do. I put those on there, and then I plan around it. Like I always put my running on there, so I'm going to do that. And then I go from there.
And then you have your appointments. And again, if you're meeting, if you have such a high conversion and you only have to meet with 3 new clients per week and then probably show some buyers, then, you're working on that, the stuff that's going to make you money.
Yeah.
So, what is your top lead generation source?
Right now, it's probably church.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think I've sold 10 for church this year. I've got 2 in the pipeline right now. That's from church, and I get referrals for other people from church too, not just church members. I get referrals that way too.
Right. Yeah, they have been an excellent referral source for you, that's for sure. Especially because, we haven't even been living on them the way that, we need to.
I'm very active in the church, so that helps too.
Yes, you are. One of those trips, every year is a church trip that
Yes.
that he takes. So what do you feel like is your second lead generation source?
Actually, this year it's been past clients probably giving me referrals.
Okay, good.
That's awesome. For only 3 years in the business, it's really good.
It is. And you've used Zillow a lot.
In the beginning, I did, yes.
And
Anymore.
Excellent conversion. You've had with Zillow. Any tips there that you want to give anybody? Because a majority of your closings in the first year, came from that.
Yes, that's how I got the main start. It was answering my phone and returning phone calls quickly. A lot of people wait 2 or 3 hours, but I've already gotten them by then.
I got onto him one day because he didn't have his voicemail set up, and he said, I don't listen to my voicemail because I always answer my phone. I don't let anybody go to voicemail.
I don't listen to voicemail.
Most people don't anymore, but I just thought it was cute. Like, I don't let anybody go to voicemail. I actually answer. So here's the question that people have all the time. If I'm showing houses, how can I answer these calls and convert Zillow?
I tell them up front I may have to answer the phone while they're looking around. You taught me that trick.
Which leads me into, how do you work your appointments? Do you have a consultation for buyers and sellers?
Buyers, usually I do. There's a time or two with Zillow, if I ever do a Zillow one anymore, I may have to meet them at one house, but then we do a buyer consult after that. I usually do a buyer consult, yes.
Yes. And all those expectations go up front.
It helps me show less houses, to be honest with you.
And again, this is going to shock people. About how many houses do you show a buyer before they buy one?
3 to 5.
Okay. So I know.
I'm silently guessing. I'm like, I guessed 5, which is, not bad.
It's a lot more than that, but normally no. Normally it's 3.
Now, when you're setting expectations with the buyer, are you telling them, hey, we're going to narrow these down to the best 3 to 5 houses, and I expect within those that we'll find the one that we'll make an offer on? Do they go into it with that expectation?
I tell them that normally most people see 3 to 5 houses before they make a decision. They get it in their head, and then they think that's all they're going to see.
Love it.
Then I tell them if we don't see anything by then, we need to reevaluate what we're looking at. And I listen very well as to what they want. And that helps a lot, figuring out what they want and what they don't want.
Okay.
And knowing the market.
I think that buyer consultation is so important because you can do all of that in that meeting. And for a lot of agents that feel like they don't have control over their business, or they're having to show a lot of unreasonable people, it's because they're skipping that main step of having that consult where you can sit down and listen to what people really want.
And in that consult, you always talk about the home inspection too, because a lot of deals fall through because of home inspection. If you have that up front with them, you don't have very many fall through either.
See, you're so good. You listen to the tips and you implement, Jeremy. I'm always suggesting that you show your buyers up front an example of a terrible home inspection and black out the address, black out the client's names, and let them see what one really looks like so that they know what to expect when when mom and dad are telling them that they're ridiculous and they're crazy, and when they see little minor things, they won't be so upset. It's all in how we prepare our clients for the market. And Jeremy, you do a great job with that.
And don't be a part of the problem and over dramatize something if something it does come up and everything. That kills deals too.
Yes, it does. I think a lot of, and Matt, I know you see this too. A lot of the agents get so excited, they feel like it's their duty to protect their client. And yes, we want to make sure that our clients are protected and that they make smart and wise decisions, but houses are going to have issues. And when we go crazy, oh my God, there's rotten windows.
First time home buyers out for sure, you can freak them out.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like when a toddler falls down. You just want to pick them up, set them up, like say it's okay, brush it off, it's all right. The more you react, the worse it gets for them.
That's true. When you're like, oh no, baby, what happened? Then they have a chance to cry about it. But that's so important in sales is what Jeremy just said, is not over dramatizing the situation. My husband is a home builder, and he says that when he works with agents a lot, this is what happens, that they either feel like they need to show their value by making a big deal out of little things, or interfering when it's not necessary, just again making things a bigger deal than they really are. So for the first couple of years, you were mainly a buyer business.
Yes.
And we just recently made that shift to a listing business. And you want to share what the goal was?
It was to get 20 by the end of the year on a continual basis. At 20 at all times.
Yes. So I wanted Jeremy to make sure that he had an inventory of 20, because 20 is going to pay you well. If you can get to that 20, then you can kind of go up from there. And so in no time at all, how many did you have?
I have 17 right now.
So amazing. And really the difference is just like we were talking about with goal setting, is that intention to say, okay, I might have a little drop in income here for the next, 2 months, because I'm going to be really focused on building my inventory, but it's going to even out to where I can have more consistent income over the long haul, and more signs bring more business, more referrals. You've got all those little mini billboards out there. So now what are the changes that you've seen from moving from a buyer business to a listing business?
Haven't seen much change yet. Hopefully that'll come soon. I don't have the patience for listings a lot, but I'm getting to that better. I really don't know, to be honest with you, yet. We're working on that.
Which is funny, because patience is usually something that's needed for the buyer.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody say that. Yeah, that was interesting. So maybe that's, you don't have the assistant there that's fielding some of the calls, or well, let me ask you this. A better question is, Jeremy, how are you preventing the calls? Like, are you doing a weekly, seller update call with every single client so that you're not getting a lot of those panic calls and panic texts and stuff like that?
No, normally I text them. I keep up with them. I'm a big texter. I text them about every day, a little
Okay.
bit what's going on. I give them feedback all the time.
Okay, gotcha. So you're usually texting them, showing feedback you're getting from some agent that has showing or something like that.
Yes, I don't do the 1 month, the weekly thing. I let them hear from me usually about every day, some sort of way.
Okay.
Usually by text. As long as they're in the loop that way, they don't call me a lot asking me why this is not going on, this, that, and the other.
Okay. So it's not that you're getting panic calls. What's the
No.
what's is it just that you prefer the experience of working with buyers a little bit better?
That's what I started out in, and I enjoy working with first-time home buyers and seeing them, the expression on their face when they get the contract, when they get the house and everything, and closing.
Yeah.
It's
Gotcha.
rewarding.
Yeah,
Yes.
I believe that. I never had that experience, so I'm imagining, but yeah. I never worked with a single buyer, but yeah, okay.
Well, and buyers will sing your praises and bring you more referrals because they just love you, and sellers get upset if you sell their house right away and if it takes too long.
Yes.
Obviously you underpriced me if you sold it quickly, and hey, what are you doing for me if it's on the market a week? So I do understand that, but you're going to master that. We're working on that together. It's going to be a breeze for you, like everything is. So with those 17 listings that you've got right now, what's your favorite marketing that you like to use?
Facebook. That's where everybody is nowadays, is Facebook, in that age group that's buying houses.
That's true. And even though you're probably not the, what I would say is your typical social
No, I'm not.
agent, but you still use it very methodically as a promotion tool.
Yes.
So, which is great.
You want to share what you're doing a little bit? Can we go deeper into that part of things?
Like we have all the different, like Northport Homes for Sale. We have Tuscaloosa, Cottondale, Tuscaloosa County. Post them on all of that. You boost it that way. You can tag certain people in them to get it out to more people, that sort of stuff.
Okay. All right. So Facebook. So boosted posts on Facebook. Are you boosting them out to what, friends of the page?
Yes.
Well, you have an audience,
$10
though.
on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
We always laugh, and Jeremy just, yep. Just yes.
Is it something that you're making a concerted effort to post something every day? Are you on any type of schedule for that?
No, I'm not. I don't post. I need to post more. I've been slacking on that recently too. Need to start getting back into that a little bit more. That
you post all your closings.
I post all my closings. I post all my listings every so often. But more, it's like I talk to people about them too, that sort of thing.
What, you over Facebook Messenger?
Well, no, like getting out and talking to people.
Oh, actual getting out. No, we're still talking about Facebook. Okay. All right. So don't really talking to a real human. I don't know what that's like. I work from home, so I don't know what it's like to talk to human beings. But okay. All right.
Well,
so yeah. So in other words, you're boosting, and the sites that you mentioned, those are websites, right? So we're talking about home value, or are you marketing your listings to generate buyer leads, or are you advertising like home value stuff to drive seller leads?
Do both.
Both. Cool. All right.
So let's talk about this shift, because if somebody is sitting on a heavy buyer business right now, and it can take up a lot of your time. Whenever you and I had the discussion, okay, let's go after 20. you know, how did you start going after leads then?
Postcards. Just started asking people for business.
Okay.
About it.
So, can you share with me exactly how you ask people?
I really didn't flat out just ask them right away. Just getting to know people and talking to them, asking them what they do. They ask me what I do. Go from there. I got a lot of referrals also. Then I'd call those people.
So,
Even
on
though I don't have the phone, I will call people every once in a while.
yes. Every once in a while. And on the postcards, we started, you know, tracking. You were just mentioning, when I say tracking, it was very loosely like, oh yeah, I got, you know, 3 listings off of that one. And we've only sent maybe 2, 3 postcards, this year to that neighborhood. But because of the signs that have gone up, you know, it all works together. And this last one that went out though, you got 1 appointment off this last one.
Got 2.
Okay, 2 appointments off this last one. So they do work. And if we bump that up and we're even more consistent with it, you would have even more listing appointments from those.
Yeah, that's where I'm thinking.
Well, and it does, you know, I can browbeat, but that doesn't work much either. He'll get it to me when he gets it to me. So anything else that you can share about making that shift from a buyer business to a listing business, like what to be aware of?
I'm learning all that right now myself because this was just like a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Right. Well, but look at what you've done already. And see, I think that's where people are like, okay, how do you do that? Like, because I feel like a lot of people, you know, it's the muy grande of the real estate business. Like, how do I go and get 17 listings?
Basically, I focus on one thing at a time. I don't have 3 or 4 pots in the fire going at one time. So I started concentrating on listings. So that's all I was doing. I really didn't show any buyers for a month or so.
Oh, wow. So what were you doing? What's your morning prospecting consist of?
That differs. Sometimes I'll call people. Sometimes I'll go out and meet people. I like meeting people.
Mm-hmm.
I know Genny doesn't like it, but I always have lunch with somebody. You know, she says not to because it wastes time. But I get a lot of business from it.
Well, and you need to do what works for you.
Yes.
That's right.
So she says go have coffee with them.
Yes.
Yeah. Get them in and out. Shuffle them through. Half-hour piece, no more. Let's get the conveyor belt moving.
I like to build a relationship that way. And sometimes it takes a little time to build the relationship, but then it pays later down the road.
Yeah. I believe that. Okay. So when you call people and you mentioned that you've got a lot of referrals, so people are introducing you or they're giving you contact info. That's what I'm curious about. So what's and do you have like a preferred way to receive and kind of for people to hand off referrals to you? Do you ask specifically for their contact information and follow up?
Yes.
Okay, so ask for their contact info.
I ask for their contact information and then I call them.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's just simple, pick up the phone and call, which is what most people are reluctant to do, or text.
Because
do you text first to let them know who you are and then call?
That varies.
Yeah.
I'm doing a little study to see which one works better right now.
Yeah. Yeah, like I know as someone that's under the age of 35, and my co-host gives me issues with this all the time because I literally will not pick up the phone for somebody if I don't recognize the number. Now it's gotten a little bit different as
I don't answer the phone. Well, I do now, but
yeah.
I used to not answer the phone if I didn't know the number.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where a text comes into play better.
Yeah, exactly. So I know if you wanted to reach me and if we've never spoken before, a text first is 100% all that's needed, and if I can take the call, I will.
Yes.
So I think that's been a big shift over the last, I don't know, what would you say, 5 years, Genny, maybe? That's probably shifted a lot.
I believe so. But what's funny about that is you being under 35. That's not the funny part, but
how dare you?
Jerry and I are close to the same age. But I had an assistant I said, hey, would you text so and so and ask them a question? One of our clients, and she's like, no, I don't know them well enough. And she was really young. So it's an odd thing because some people feel like I don't have to know you well enough, so I'll text you. And other people feel like, oh, texting is so personal.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's the way Greg is. Greg McDaniel. He's very much like they don't use texting in their lead follow-up at all. And then you've got guys like Josh Smith that take pride in the thousands of texts that their team sends every month as part of their lead follow-up for buyers. It's all about your area. I know Greg's area tends to skew a little bit older. We're talking about homes where a 3-bedroom home is $1 million, so they're definitely an older crowd.
Right.
And so maybe he's right for his area, but I think on average it's definitely moving towards that where it's much more okay and even expected to get a text because I'm clearly not going to answer the phone for you if I don't know who you are. So the only way to then convey that information is to text someone. So maybe I don't know. That's very odd that she would respond that way. What did she want to do instead? Like send a message through Facebook, or what's the alternative? If they're not going to call,
email.
You're not doing text.
Email.
I don't know. Maybe they don't have that. Wait until she gets 1,000 emails in her inbox, then we'll see if she responds that way.
Yes.
Well, it's just funny about, and she hasn't been the only one. She just opened my eyes to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it is. It really is. But I mean, I'm not going to buy a $3 million house from somebody who sent me a text message either. And maybe it's because I'm an oldie, like what you were saying. But I kind of see where Greg's coming from with that. Now an investment home, you send me investment stuff or something that we can flip all day long. I'll buy that from a text. So I kind of see where Greg's coming from with a substantial investment. Mm-hmm. You might want to take a little bit extra step than sending somebody a text message. But, there's so many different ways that you can prospect using it. One of this happened just the other day. And Jeremy, you hear me say this all the time, go to your website and get the link from your listing and start texting that to a couple of people and say, hey, would you mind forwarding this to someone you might know who wants to live in this area? And, I always try to practice what I preach. And so I did this for one of our agents the other day, and I just sent it to like 5 people that I knew lived nearby there, and didn't get any response right away. But a week later, I get a response that said, oh, hey, sorry so long for the delay. I actually sent it to someone and they went and looked at it. I think she's getting it.
Seriously.
So, that's just another way that you can prospect using text messages. But what I love about that whole idea is it's showing your sphere of influence that you're working really hard for that seller. And that's the kind of agent that people want. So, all right, Jeremy, you are my tech savvy guy. Share with us some of the technology that you like to use that make your life more streamlined.
I do electronic signatures. Everything is electronically. I don't have any paper trail at all. I lose paper.
He disappeared on us, Matt.
I disappeared on you?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you didn't pop up on the screen.
Yeah, I think it might just be your end, Jenny. He's fine on my end.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. You're back there.
All right, so you're paperless. Everything's through what? So DocuSign for signatures, and then are you using
through our MLS we have Authentisign.
Oh, okay.
Internet. So we do that one because it's free. I don't need to pay for anything else.
All right, that's nice.
I've learned the system. I've written contracts riding down the road to Disney World, riding the football games. Not driving, but riding down the road.
Right.
It's very important distinction there.
I had them executed before I would get to the Florida line.
Yeah.
Or the Mississippi line, something like that.
Okay, and this is a huge tool that you love in your business, Jeremy. And the feedback that we get from a lot of our other clients is, but my clients are older. How many times have you had to get an actual wet signature?
Once.
Okay, of all the
And they
sellers.
were 89 years old that didn't have email. But everyone else, older, like I sit there with them maybe the first time when we're writing the contract, and then they sit there and electronically sign it in front of me on their thing. And then that way I teach them how to do it for when we have counter offers. I don't have to go chase them down for offers and everything else. So that saves time.
Which is another great reason to do that consultation, because he is training them to save time in the future. And so they're comfortable with it. I love that. You know, he's had 52 closings this year, and one person he's had to get a wet signature from. That saves gas, it saves driving time, it saves those lengthy conversations whenever you go by there. And I'm not saying not to do that, because you can bond with people during those times. But this is just a great way that he cuts down on a lot of time in his schedule and allows him to work a lot less. My dad would leave to go get a contract signed. We wouldn't see him for 5 hours because he was just having a good time, good conversation, and, you know, shooting the bull with people. This is, you know, a great time saver.
And then say the lender needs some and he calls you or texts you, they do, and say they need a form. A lot of times people they don't have the file with them, so they have to go back to the office or whatever, scan it, email it or whatever to them. I can be sitting in car line in one click and I send it to him and he has it right away.
Which is fantastic. And we've gotten your listing presentation all on your iPad as well, customized. And you've got a lot of your buyer presentation on there too, right?
Yes, both of them.
It's all ready to go. He can grab his iPad and meet with a client at any time. He is ready. He is on go. And that's, I mean, so important. His whole business is right there. So make sure you back that up, okay?
It is backed up. It's backed up on 3 different things.
What are some other shortcuts that you use?
I think that's about it. A time block. That's about it on shortcuts I can think of.
Well, you just said you use your Google Calendar and you use Authentisign. What?
I don't have to. It also keeps me from having to go back to the office, scan something, and email it back to the client because they have to have a copy of it. It automatically sends them a copy of it where I don't have to do it. So my paperwork is done.
That you just turn into your office as well.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's done electronically too.
Cool.
Everybody complains about this. They feel like they are drowning in paperwork. And, you know, I've begged people to call you and to go shadow you, because sometimes when I mentioned that earlier about we make things a lot more complicated, they'll turn a 2-step process into a 7 to 10 step process and really not know why that they're doing that. And I think that you kind of see things differently, one, because of your profile and how you are very intentional about spending a lot of time with your children. You will take a 10-step process and turn it into a 2.
Yes, that's mainly the main reason why I got into real estate, which people think's weird.
For the freedom?
Yes.
Okay. It's not a weird thing to think that. It's just that most of the time, the freedom is what attracts us to this business, and then we create our own jail cell around it.
I had that for too many years.
Right. But I know what that's like because I've had that jail cell, you know, not having certain boundaries. You know, how do you work boundaries with your clients?
I tell them up front. Like, I don't tell them I'm doing something with my kids. I may tell them I have an appointment. something. Well, they know I'm picking my kids up from school or whatever. But like if it's something else, I just tell them I have an appointment during that time.
Okay, so that you control your time.
Yes. Now, there is times where I'll ask them when's good for them. But normally I'll give them like 2 or 3 different times to choose from, and they'll choose one of those.
Okay, so another technology I know that you use is Real Geeks.
Yes.
On your website, and how do you feel about that?
It's working well so far. I do need to do more with it. I think that's one of the other areas that I'm slacking in my database, and that the 2 areas I need to concentrate on a little bit here soon.
So what do you feel like you need to do a better job
of? Promoting my website.
Okay.
I don't think I promoted enough. Well, I know I don't promote it enough. I don't think. I know I don't. And I think I need to change some content up every once in a while. It's been 3 or 4 months. I need to change it up.
Well, you probably could do some blogging, but we can work on that together.
Yes.
And then maybe like some SEO or something. But I think your
stories would be amazing. I mean, if you've got that many closings, I mean, if you're closing 4 to 5 deals a month, you should be able to get a couple of really good success stories, whether it's over the phone or on video, or a case study that you can write up about their experience and get a quote from them or something like that.
Yeah. I have a video on my on the front page of my website.
Yep, Gene Burbage. Yeah, that stuff is really powerful, because then you can send it. If you do a pre-listing packet at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
I need to work.
All of your testimonials.
But the problem is, I normally don't give it to them until I get there, because normally if I set a listing up, I'm setting it up pretty quickly because I don't want people to change their mind.
Yeah. Yeah. There's two schools of thought on that.
Yes.
And there's plenty of people that have success with both.
Yes.
Yeah. We create them all for our clients, but I like the sense of urgency. I just feel like you're going to have a better conversion rate when you do have it. So I like that you are armed with it, Jeremy, and you may not.
When we meet.
Right. Okay, so what keeps you motivated?
What keeps me motivated? Probably my kids, actually.
Yeah, your reason.
Yes.
Right? Your whole reason. And how do you not find yourself working on things that aren't important?
Occasionally I probably do, but you sit there and think about, is this going to do anything for me? And if it's not, then I don't do it.
Okay. There is the meat of the day. Is it going to do anything for me? No, then I'm not doing it. And I think if we ask ourselves each day, hey, what's the outcome of this day going to be? What is the outcome of this task going to be? What is the outcome of this expense going to be? And
I analyze all of that.
And when you say, yeah, it's going to be worth it, and I can tell you that when he does something, it's always worth it. He always gets a return. And he laughs about being impatient. You can't tell it. I'm always keyed up. I have no patience at all. And so the first day his mail drops, Matt knows me so well.
Oh, man.
I'm always like, how many appointments have you had already? He's like, well, none yet, but they're coming. And they do. But I just want that phone to ring for him, the second they pull it out of the mailbox. But so, one of the things too that I feel like you do really well, and I just want everybody to hear this, is you will answer your accountability. Now, you don't answer it every single day, but you're very good about reporting back in and letting me know where your numbers are. And I feel like the people who do that have greater success.
Keeps me accountable. That's why I do it.
Yeah, no, and that's the only reason I ask for y'all to do it. And everybody does this differently, but you know, when you're also showing me what your numbers are every single week, then, you know, I can, as a coach, say, okay, you know, he's slacking here, his average is going down here, or, you know, we need to raise this, or I can say, what's going on? Or are you slowing down from the end of the year? Or, you know, right now we're in fourth quarter push. And I've challenged everybody to get 55 new client appointments before the end of the year. And what, you've gotten 4 now?
Yes, I have 3 this week so far.
All right, so you've completed 4. You have 51 left to go before the end of the year. Just think about what that income's going to look like third quarter and first quarter for next year, because you know, we're very adamant about hitting that, and you hear where he's going. He's just completed 4. He's got 3 on the books for this next week. He's got plenty of time to schedule some more for this week. And I know you're going to do that and inch that way down where I won't be surprised one bit if you get over 50. Because being intentional is everything is what he said out of this whole hour today is what's, you know, kept him increasing his income and meeting his goals. So what other advice would you have for agents who want more balance at a high income?
Well, we'd be intentional and think about if it's not going to make you money or get you business, don't do it. A lot of things we've run, and a lot of times we focus on 5 or 6 things at one time. Focus on one thing at a time and get good at it, and then go to the next one.
Ooh, for people with no patience, that's a tough one.
I really don't have patience.
Well, I thank you for, of course, being here today and sharing everything with us. You know, I get so many questions about what you do and how you do it, and I want people to see how much easier your business is at such a high income than a lot of other people, because they make it harder. And you don't have to make it hard. You can make it easy. One last thing I want to share is we've got our mastermind event coming up, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. And it's our biggest one yet. And we are super excited. We've got a $70 million producer. We've got a $50 million producer. We've got so many good speakers that are going to be sharing, you know, how they do what they do. So you can get a ticket at bhammastermind.com. Jeremy, you're the greatest. I'm so happy that I get to be a part of your world. Thank you for letting me do it.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, how do people get a hold of you to send you referrals and over there in Tuscaloosa?
They can email me at jeremydobbsproperties@gmail.com, or they can call me or text me at 205-310-6763.
Awesome.
There it is. It's that easy. Matt, thank you for everything. And there is going to be a replay of this. So if you, want to watch it again and take notes, then Matt's going to send out that replay, or you can just hit play again if you're watching on YouTube. So thanks for everything that you do, Matt. I appreciate you as always.
Of course. Yep. So like Jenny said, so the replay, the best place to get that is it's already, as soon as we get done broadcasting, give it a couple minutes and it's available right on YouTube on the Get a Real Estate Life YouTube channel. And then the link is also on our Facebook page. So if you forget how to get to it, or if you don't see the email come through in the next couple of days with the replay, don't worry. Just go to the Facebook page. It's all the same link. It goes right to the same video on YouTube. So with that, thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you on the next one next month.
Bye. Thanks, y'all.